Ever wonder how Disney does it? How they create that legendary, absolutely magical service experience, day after day, for millions and millions of people? You're not alone. It's a question that fascinates pretty much everyone. Now, most people just say, oh, it's magic. But the real answer? It's way more interesting and, honestly, a lot more practical. Because behind all that so-called magic, there's a formula, a brilliant one. So let's break it down.
According to Tom Staggs, who used to be the chairman of Disney Parks, this is the question he gets asked all the time. And sure, his first answer might be a little wink and a nod to magic, but he's also the first to admit that for anyone who really wants to know, there's a much more tangible, deliberate system at play.
And that right there is the key. What feels like effortless magic to us, the guests, is actually anything but. Behind the curtain, there's no pixie dust. What there is a repeatable, incredibly detailed system. And the best part? It's a system that any organization can actually learn from.
Okay, so if it's not some unknowable magic, what is it? Well, at its very core, the entire Disney approach is built on an obsession with detail. And it's all driven by a single, really powerful definition of what quality service even means.
See, it's not about these huge, grand gestures. It really boils down to two simple but incredibly powerful ideas. Number one, exceed your guests' expectations, and number two, pay meticulous attention to every single detail. It's that combination, that dual focus, that transforms a good experience into a truly magical one.
Inside Disney, this obsession with detail actually has a name. They call it bumping the lamp. And the story behind it is fantastic. It comes from the making of Who Framed Roger Rabbit. So, in one scene, a live-action character bumps a hanging lamp, and it starts swinging back and forth. Now, most people would never, ever notice if the animated Roger Rabbit wasn't affected. But the animators, they painstakingly added the moving shadow of that lamp across his face, frame by painful frame. Why? Why would they do that? Because every single detail has to support the reality of the story.
So, that's a great story, but how do you take an idea like bumping the lamp and make it work across an organization with like 150,000 employees? Well, you need a blueprint. And at Disney, that blueprint is called the Quality Service Compass. This compass, this is the real secret sauce. This is their practical magic. It's a tangible framework that turns this abstract idea of quality into concrete everyday actions. It aligns every single part of the organization toward one single goal, exceeding guest expectations.
So here it is, the 4 key parts of the formula. It all kicks off with something they call guestology, which is all about deeply, truly understanding the customer. That knowledge then helps them define their quality standards. From there, it's all about execution through their delivery systems. And then that final, crucial step, integration, is what ties the whole thing together.
So these first 2 points, they set the entire strategy. Guestology is basically the art and science of knowing your customer inside and out. It's how Disney defines what their guests actually want, need, and expect. And only once you know what they expect can you establish your quality standards, which define how you're going to deliver on that promise.
Now, Disney's 4 standards are safety, courtesy, show, and efficiency. But here's the thing. The real power isn't just in the list itself. It's in the strict order of priority. Safety always comes first, no exceptions. A cast member will break character, they'll stop a ride, they'll do whatever it takes to ensure safety in a heartbeat. And having this unwavering hierarchy makes decision-making on the front lines crystal clear for everyone.
Okay, so having standards is one thing, right? But how do you actually bring them to life for millions of guests every single day? Well, that is the job of the 3 delivery systems.
Look, every organization on the planet has these 3 fundamental systems to deliver its service. Its people, or cast in Disney speak, its physical environment, the setting, and its operational workflows, the process. But notice how they're all basically equal here. No single system can create that magic alone. They all have to work together.
The cast, they're the face of Disney. They are the brand walking and talking. And they're not just trained to be friendly. They're trained to be proactive problem solvers, to create those little, individual, unscripted interactions that end up becoming people's most cherished memories.
And to really get a sense of just how critical the cast is, think about this number, 2.5 billion.
That's the estimated number of interactions that cast members have with guests every single year. Each and every one of those is a chance to either make or break the magic. It's staggering.
Next up is the setting. And here, the guiding principle is everything speaks. This means nothing in the environment is an accident. From the texture of the pavement literally changing as you walk from Frontierland to Fantasyland, to the carefully planned sightlines that hide the real world, every little detail of the setting is designed to immerse you in the story and support the show.
The third system is process. This is the nitty-gritty. It covers every operational detail you can think of, from how they manage those famous lines to how a hotel check-in works. The guiding principle here is plussing, a term Walt Disney himself coined. It just means constantly asking, how can we make this even better? It builds a culture of constant, relentless improvement. And that brings us to the final, and I would argue the most powerful point on the entire compass: integration. This is where all the separate pieces come together and, well, this is where the magic is really unlocked.
See, integration is where cast, setting, and process stop being these three separate things and they merge into one single seamless operating system. The whole goal is to make sure every delivery system supports every single quality standard. And when that happens, the result is an experience where the whole is far, far greater than the sum of its parts.
So how do they do it? This is the actual tool they use, the integration matrix. They literally map each quality standard against each delivery system to see how they support each other. But I want you to focus on the headliners, because while every system contributes to every standard, some combinations are just natural powerhouses. The cast is the headliner for courtesy. The setting is the headliner for show, and process is the headliner for efficiency. Mastering these key combinations is absolutely crucial.
You know, at the end of the day, Disney realized something profound. They aren't just selling rides or hotel rooms. Those things are just props. What they are actually doing is staging an experience. This entire compass is the tool that ensures every single detail, from the people to the pavement, contributes to that one unified show. And that really leaves us with a big question to think about. In your world, what experience are you staging?